We're beginning a new segment today called Financial Friday, and Pamela Coy of Bonafide Credit Consultants is joining us this midday to talk about ways that we can all stay financially healthy. Pam, thanks so much for being Pamela.
Thank you for having me.
She corrected me on that. It's Pamela. All right, over the course of time, we're going to explore a lot of topics that deal with financial health and making sure that we kind of stay on top of our financial health. But perhaps the hardest one to deal with is the first one right off the bat, and that's debt. How big an issue is debt, and how do people find themselves getting in so much debt?
Debt is a significant issue for most consumers today. It all started actually before the recession because people typically find themselves living beyond their means rather than living within their financial means.
I would imagine credit cards is probably the easiest way to do that.
The easiest way to get there. And so when the recession hit, there were folks that were already in financial distress, and so that just kind of expanded on the situation that got us where we are here today.
All right, credit cards are a tough thing for a lot of us, I will admit that. All right, first thing off the bat, how do we get ourselves out of debt? And you have something called the power of 50. What is the power of 50?
The power of 50 is an interesting rule. It's easy to do. If you're thinking about it from a credit card perspective, anytime you're paying just the minimum payment on a credit card, you want to get to a position where you can pay more than that because you're extending the time period as to when it will take you actually to pay off the credit card. So when you're talking about the rule of 50, what that is, say for example, you've got a balance of $3,000, the APR is 18%, and your minimum monthly payment is 2%. So your minimum monthly payment on that credit card would be $60 a month.
Okay.
At paying $60 a month, it would take you about 8 years to pay that balance in full, and you're paying close to $6,000 when it's all said and done. But if you simply add $50 to that minimum monthly payment and pay $110, you'll reduce the years to pay the balance off to about 3 years, and you'll save almost $2,000.
Where were you years ago for me?
What if you increase your payment by $100?
Right.
And being able to increase those payments comes from your overall financial picture, getting some money set aside that you can increase your minimum monthly payments on your credit card.
And for a lot of people, I mean, that is kind of tough sometimes when the money's tight, but if you can do it.
But the rule simply is to say that you need to pay more than the minimum.
Right.
And so if you can't do 50, $10 will also make an impact if you could just pay $10 extra a month. So whatever you're able to do, but the rules are there really as a guide for you.
Okay, so just do more.
Just do more.
50 would be great. All right, so what is the 70-20-10 rule?
70-20-10 rule is applying to or discussing your savings and how you should apply those percentages across your monies. For example, 70%, not more than 70%. Again, these are just tools and rules, not necessarily everybody fits this to
Right, not a mandate, but something that'll help you.
Exactly, just a guide. But 70% of your money should be spent on your living expenses, which is your housing, your utilities, things of that nature. About 20% of your monies should be spent on savings, and that would include, you know, investments, your 401ks, and an important thing is emergency funds, and people will probably have a segment on emergency funds.
And that's a
that's important.
That's a perfect place for us to stop. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we're going to, of course, talk to you many, many more times in the future, so we'll talk about emergency funds, too.
Absolutely.
Pamela, thank you. Glad you were here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll be right back with a final check on your forecast when we come back. Very good. Thank you so much.